everyone, so I have recently done 2 paintings on mirrors, one being in oil and the second one being in acrylic. Never painted on a mirror before, so I had to do quite a lot of investigation, and it can be quite a minefield of all the information that is out there. So I thought maybe I can package one neat little video together, so when you go out and you get the things that you need, it won't be such a minefield and just drive you a little bit crazy. Okay, so let's get started. What you need is a mirror, and I decided to go on a formal mirror because a mirror is pretty brittle, so especially when you're going in a bigger size, you really need it to be quite sturdy. Okay, so then what I did is I got my design, I worked out the design in my head, and I transposed that onto paper. Once I was happy with that, I got myself an acrylic Posca white pen, and I transferred that design in quite a lot of detail over onto my mirror. Okay, I like to work like that. I use a lot of detail in my drawing if I'm on paper, or vice versa now on mirror. So once I had done that, I then needed my primer. You need to get a primer when you are going to paint on a mirror, and this then adheres the paint to the mirror, so it makes the paint stick nicely. Now the thing about, I use gesso. This can be used on a mirror, so whatever primer you get, you need to make sure that it's mirror friendly, because you don't want to go to all that effort and find that it's not. Okay, so the gesso needs 24 hours to dry. So I had to work out in my head, if this was a canvas and I was going to paint the whole thing, then it wouldn't be a problem. I could get my gesso and paint the whole thing. But because I've done a lot of detail on here and I wasn't going to paint the whole thing, I needed to actually paint my painting in stages. I hope I'm making myself clear to you. So for example, what I did is I painted the New York area in gesso, I painted the face in gesso, and then I painted the Mickey Mouse in gesso. Waited 24 hours for that to dry, and then I painted them in my acrylic. Once that is done, then I moved on to a new section and did the same there, and I repeated it.
So here you can see where all the white is where I've painted the gesso. So I did it in sections. I did the New York, I did the face. Now basically the star is drying, and the gesso, because I've just painted the star, meanwhile I can go ahead and now paint the New York sign as well as the face, because that has already been drying for 24 hours. So I'm just trying to explain to you how I did it in stages, because I wasn't quite sure if I was explaining myself well enough. So here we go. I hope you get it now.
Okay, so your gesso, once you paint it on, you can add a little bit of water. They do talk about sandpapering your mirror before you start. I didn't even go there. I thought nothing can go well from me taking sandpaper to a mirror, so I didn't even go there. Your gesso, you can water it down quite a bit for your first layer. They say that you must go in one direction with your gesso. It can, I actually quite like the texture of gesso, so I actually put it on quite thick, but you can water down the first layer and put on a couple of extra layers. I actually only did one layer of gesso. So this is just a close-up, I hope you can see, of a little Mickey Mouse that I did in gesso. I just did the complete thing. And so this is basically what your artwork should look like before you actually start painting. And it must obviously be nice and dry. All right, so now I have done my layering of paint, and you need to make sure that it's 100% dry before you commence with painting. Again, for my stars, I actually use quite a bit of masking tape to get those points. Unfortunately, in a couple of times, the masking tape did pull off some of the paint, so I had to re-gesso it and go through the process again. Now, with this acrylic painting, I will be using an acrylic gloss to go over the areas just to seal it a bit more than I needed to seal the oil one. Okay, so the oil has got its natural sheen to it, and it was just a little bit more, I felt a little bit more secure without having to gloss that one than I do this one. This, you can definitely, it's yeah, you run your finger over there, and I'm just worried that if I scratched it hard enough, it would actually come off. So that's why I'm going to do the gloss on this one. Now, all I need to do is to take this. I want to give you a good look at this painting. So it was quite a big one. It was 1 meter by 75 centimeters. So now basically what will happen, I will wrap this off. It will go off for framing, and then it will be done. So just remember, you need your very clean mirror before you start. You don't want any dust on your mirror. Don't worry about sandpapering, but you need to get your gesso and stick with it. 24 hours drying time. I was itching to get painting, but I did persevere with the waiting. Obviously with the oil, the waiting period is even longer because you need that oil to dry. So I would definitely go with acrylics again because it just suits my personality. I don't like to wait. And that's it. So get going. What are you waiting for?